Hey everybody, welcome back to TechOdyssey. So today I'm here to talk about why I think that Google is destroying their reputation, and it's 100% to do with the software update issues for the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. This has really started to become quite an issue, and it's like Pixel Update Watch 2021. All the time I'm like, oh, I hear people, they're saying, well, I haven't got it yet. And this is all over the place. This is people internationally, there's people in Florida, there's people in the United States, there's people in Washington, wherever. Normally, for those of you who are uninitiated, normally, at least the security updates, but usually updates, they come out on the first Monday of the month. And like clockwork, the regular guys for the Pixel 4, 5, all that good stuff, they got theirs. But they said you're going to have to hold out a little bit longer for the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. There are a lot of things they were fixing. Now, there was like a major update. And there were supposed to be about 100 different things that are fixed, about 60 different security patch things that were fixed. Specifically, I believe about 60-something specific bug fixes and updates for the Pixel 6 and the 6 Pro. We've been waiting for quite a while now. I guess we're going on about 2 weeks. And it's really bad because not only do we not have this significant update, we also don't have the security patch, which would normally come out the first Monday of the month. Today is the 23rd, so we're like basically a week away from January, and we don't have the December update, and the phone just came out, the end of October? This is troubling for several reasons. One, because when you think about Pixel, what comes to the mind? First of all is the camera. Second is the software. Those are really only the two compelling reasons over the last 4 years to get a Pixel phone. It hasn't been the battery life. It hasn't been because they got the top-of-the-line chipset because they were always behind everybody else or at the end of the year. It wasn't because they had a ton of RAM because they always had like 4 or 6 gigs of RAM. It was always the software. It was the stock Android with the software and the updates, and that was really the big promise of Google Pixel phones. And then we get to the Pixel 6, and there was supposed to be a lot of excitement. There was, indeed, in the very beginning, a lot of hype. This was definitely the most hyped phone of the year. And then we get to the launch. Kind of went well, except for the fact that you couldn't really buy one anywhere. That was problematic, especially the Pros. They're still very, very hard to get. So the big issue here, everyone expects to have reliable, consistent, on-time security updates and software updates and fixes. Who is the author of Android? It's Google. Google has Android. They made Android. So when you look at the phone, it's supposed to be the second coming of the Android smartphone, and they can't get it right. And it's something that issues have been popping up. There's been murmurs, there's been issue tickets, there's been community help threads with Google, all that great stuff. People have been saying there's connection problems. And this from the get-go. Some people have been having them from the get-go. Some people were getting them because of the update. Some people's were made better because of the update. Some people were made worse. It seems very apparent that this update has issues. And I think the other big issue is that Google is not communicating at all. They're not telling anyone anything. And if you paid attention to what's going on, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of updates being rolled out anymore. It was like a very short window, a couple of days. There were some people that were getting updates, mostly international, Australia, some people in Spain, in the UK, stuff like that. Canada, very few in the US. And I think that was targeted because the number one user base for the Pixel phones is in North America, particularly the United States. And that was the smallest fraction of what I can tell from users that were getting the update. So I think they knew there were issues. They tried to roll it out. They started rolling it out. And then all of a sudden you start having all these red flags pop up over in Germany, over in England, all over there. And they're saying that they're having a lot of serious connection problems. Dropping connection, weaker signal, not transmitting data, not being able to make phone calls or send messages. That's pretty significant, right? Well, the update, I think, was causing problems, and they pulled it. I think they tried to do a very small sampling, pushed it out, and they had to know that there were problems before they started pushing it out. They told everybody it was delayed for the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro whenever they launched it for the other ones. They said the update's coming. They gave it to Pixel 5, Pixel 4, 4a, all that jazz. And then for the Pixel 6, they said, you guys, we're going to get it to you later this month, which that already started, turning on warning lights in my head. And then when the rubber meets the road, there was a very limited release for a very short time. Then people were reporting more problems. I think they pulled it. And I think they refused to admit that, which I think is also frustrating. If you look at Samsung, they admitted they had problems. You look at OnePlus, they acknowledged very quickly they had problems. They pulled their entire Android 12 update. So Google is not being transparent. They're not communicating. They're not getting the software stuff fixed like they're supposed to, and then they're not being timely with the updates. So these things are very troublesome when you look at what Google is as an entity, what the Pixel phones are supposed to stand for. Google makes Android. They're supposed to make the best, the most advanced version of Android that you can get, and it's supposed to be also the very stock. You have the stock advanced version. You have all these different software implementations. You got the Translate. You got the voice to text on the phone. You got the Titan security chip. You got the Google camera stuff, all the cool things like your Magic Eraser and all that jazz, the call holding. There's all these cool things that they do, but I think they're having some serious problems, not only with the software update, with getting it applied to multiple chipsets, because when you look at all their other phones, they're all Qualcomm Snapdragon. Now they have the Tensor chip, and I don't think they can get it programmed right. I think they're having problems trying to code for both of these chips, and then, well, we're still sitting here in the wind waiting. So everything we relied on with getting this phone, and I'm not saying it's a bad phone. This is the best phone that Google has ever made. Period. End of story. I think that the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro are the best two phones they've ever made. High quality hardware, good cameras. I know they have some focus issues. I know they have some other stuff. There are bugs. There are things that need to be polished. That's fine. As long as it's 99% working when it comes out. There are things that need to be over time as they get out. Look, they're gonna learn some things, and they're gonna fine tune them even better. They'll find things. When you have a small scale testing, you don't find as much stuff. I get it. You put it out to the masses, then issues start popping up. That's perfectly normal. But this was a lot of different stuff, and the connection issues being the biggest one. Especially, look, you need a smartphone to make phone calls, send text message, connect the internet. If you can't do that, it's kind of problematic. I know a handful of people that were really irritated and were leaving comments saying that they ditched their Pixel 6. It was so problematic they went back. Mostly, I think 90% of people are not having issues. I even did some polls, did some testing. Most people are not having problems, and almost everybody has not gotten the update. So this looks really bad on Google. This is a stain on their record. This is a black eye, because this was supposed to be a big deal, right? They reinvented everything. They came out, they changed the design, all of these different things, and then they're royally screwing it up. And on the core things that they're supposed to deliver on, number one being software, they're doing a terrible job. And this is not where you want to do a terrible job, Google. And if you are going to do a terrible job, you need to communicate with people. There are people who are very, very dedicated and care about this brand a lot. And then you have everybody who cares about you. They can't even advocate for you because you don't tell anybody what's going on. So the people who care about your brand can't advocate for it. You're not advocating for yourself by not being transparent and not letting people know what's going on, not publicly addressing the issues. And I was concerned when this happened with the Pixel 5a with the 4K 60 camera issues with the overheating. It's like they never addressed it, never really did anything about it. So I don't like this direction that Google is headed in with this quiet way of trying to deal with things in the background and just kind of push it to the forefront. And once you think it's fixed, but then not really getting things fixed. So I think that it is fixable. I think that these problems genuinely are software related, but it really concerns me that Google is seeming to react to these very slowly, that they're having a seemingly difficult time getting them fixed, and then getting the updates out. And then, of course, being transparent. If you've got problems, let people know. Like, it's not one of those things where as soon as you have an inkling, like a spider sense tingly thing, oh, there's a problem, you need to run up the flagpole. Here we are weeks into this. There's still no update. We're almost into January. No update to be seen. Y'all seemingly pulled the update without telling anybody and not making it public. So, yeah, this is really destroying Google's reputation. And it's hurting the Pixel 6, which everybody has largely been on board with it. I mean, $599, it's a fantastic phone. I love it. I really enjoy this phone. But it's really hard to go and tell people, hey, you should buy this phone, when after that you have to put an asterisk and start talking about these other issues that Google should be having, right? So that's all I got in this video. What do you think? Do you think Google's screwing up here? Do you think they're hiding things? Do you think they're intentionally pushing things back, trying to get it fixed in the background so they can hurry up and release an update and maybe magically make everything better? It's not a good look. This is not a good look for Google. This is the last thing that I would expect from them in this department. So I'm going to keep my eyes on it. hopefully we'll get the update soon. Hopefully it will be the right update and it'll be fixed, right? Because that's what we really want here. And I know most people aren't experiencing issues. This is not a catastrophic failure of the hardware, the phone, you can't use it. This is seemingly impacting a small group of people, is a very narrow thing. Don't take this out of context. This is not a criticism of the phone. This is a criticism of how Google is handling this software issue. And yeah, they definitely are getting an F- on this one from me. But I still love my Pixel 6. I still think it's a great phone. If you're concerned about picking one up, I still think it'll probably be fine for you. If you pick one up and then you're having connectivity issues, yeah, probably return it. But if you're not having connectivity issues, I don't know of any other significant issues that would keep you from being able to use one. So I want to separate those two issues. I like the phone. It's very good. It's very usable for almost everybody. And then you have, Google over here who's, I don't know what they're doing, right? So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.